Good morning, and Mr. Chair and members. Thank you for allowing me today to present Assembly Bill 1931. AB 1931, also known as Kayleigh's Law, will allow a judge the discretion to issue a lifetime injunction against a defendant at the time of sentencing for a serious felony, a violent felony, or a felony sex offense. Current law allows for temporary restraining orders or protective orders in criminal court. However, in civil court, a judge does have the discretion to allow a lifetime restraining order for domestic violence cases. Rather than filing a separate case in civil court, Kayleigh's Law allows the protective order to be attached to the conviction. California's violent crime rate is up 13.5% compared to pre-COVID numbers in 2019. This number indicates potentially thousands of crime victims that continue to fear for their safety if not under court protection. This bill is critical to ensure that we are protecting the vulnerable members of our community from retaliation, continued violence, stalking, and harassment from their perpetrators. Under current law, survivors must repeatedly face their abusers over and over again in court proceedings to get basic protections. This creates unnecessary and repeated trauma for survivors. In a few moments, I will turn the microphone over to Kayleigh Kozak, for whom this bill is named. Kayleigh successfully passed this bill, the same bill, into law with bipartisan support in Arizona and Wisconsin in 2021, and is tirelessly working to protect victims across the nation. The policy is currently working through the legislative process in Missouri in addition to being introduced here in California. In the year following passage of Kayleigh's Law in Arizona, over 1,000 victims received lifetime protections from their perpetrators. My primary witness today is Kayleigh Kozak, for whom the bill is named after. She will be followed by Kristy von Waldburg, a resident of Orange County, who connected Kayleigh and me over a year ago. Kayleigh.
Yeah, 5 minutes amongst your panel here.
Good morning, members. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, and thank you to Assemblywoman Dixon for sponsoring this bill. I am Kayleigh Kozak. I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and the namesake behind Kayleigh's Law, a complete bipartisan initiative that has gained nationwide support and recognition. This law has been successfully enacted with the backing of both Democrat and Republican leaders. Please do not let California be the first state in the nation to deny victims this lifetime protection. Are you aware that in 2023, California ranked as the #1 state for reported rapes? There were 18,116 reported rapes. Rape is the least common of the sexual offenses. Can you imagine how many other sexual crimes were committed? There is no conflict between protecting victims and pursuing criminal justice reform. It is possible to achieve both goals simultaneously by providing flexibility within the criminal justice system to uphold victim rights while addressing the need for reform. Implementing a law that only prevents convicted perpetrators from contacting their victim is not cruel and unusual punishment. However, denying victims protection from the protection that they deserve and only serves to re-victimize them, that is cruelty that cannot be ignored. The current law only allowing an order of protection for up to 10 years only prolongs a victim's suffering, and expanding an additional 5 years is not comforting. Additionally, having to continually go through the process every 10 or 15 years is burdensome for every party involved, including the already overwhelmed courts. Extending the length of protection for victims is not a matter of constitutionality. It allows a judge's discretion at the time of sentencing. This also saves the state time and money. This approach considers the well-being of victims, ensuring that they are shielded from further harm and potentially offering other opportunities for reform for the perpetrator. If you choose to vote against this bill or abstain, please do not offer explanations or apologize to me. Instead, I hope that you can find it in your heart to apologize to every victim you're failing to protect in the state of California. It's not too late to vote yes in supporting victims and providing them this needed protection. Please pass this bill through committee and allow for a further discussion on the floor with your colleagues. A vote against this bill exposes where you stand and that protecting victims is not on your priority list. You'll be playing a direct role in laying the pavement for them to continually be re-victimized and re-traumatized. And you'll be remembered as the reason that California denies victims this essential protection. If you choose to deny victims this protection, victims will continually suffer as a consequence of your decisions today. If you can rest at night with that, then so be it. But know this, regardless of the outcome today, I will never stop fighting for victims and survivors because you still matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Next witness.
Okay, I'm gonna hold my sheet up because I read better that way. Hello, my name is Kristy von Waldburg. I'm an OC resident. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. I know firsthand the impact physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially that trauma takes on a person and their loved ones, and it still affects my family life. On March 29, 2024, President Biden proclaimed April as National Sexual Assault and Awareness and Prevention Month, and I quote him, "Sexual violence affects every community in this nation, leaving millions of Americans, our neighbors, friends, colleagues, and loved ones scarred. For many survivors, healing can take years, and for some, the pain never heals completely. We recommit to standing with survivors, holding perpetrators accountable, and bringing an end to the culture that has allowed sexual assault to occur for far too long," end quote. In March of 2019, my identical twin sister and I faced our childhood sex abuser in court after over 35 years since he took our innocence at the age of 7. Statute of limitations prevented us from seeking legal recourse. We did assist the prosecution, and he is currently serving 30 to 60 years in prison. Healing from my childhood trauma was not easy. Right now, I feel like the 9-year-old girl standing here, and when you are looking at your cell phone, it makes me feel like you don't care, Mr. McCarty. Excuse me. I met Kayleigh. I'm actually using my personal pain for a voice for others. I met Kayleigh 3 years ago, and I knew immediately that California needed this law. It gives much needed and overdue support to victims, to the survivors, and adding a level of protection for their healing and justice. Like our president, we want to see an increase in legal advocacy for victims so that we can swing that pendulum back, balance the justice process indefinitely for the good of all of our communities. Every 68 seconds, another American is sexually assaulted, and every 8 minutes, that victim is a child. Are you a parent? This bill supports victims and holds those who violently and heinously sexually abuse accountable. Not everyone has a strong support system when they report abuse. If these victims are brave enough to step into a courtroom, face their perpetrator, go through the legal process, let's offer them lifelong protection and safety so they can step into their own sovereign healing and then serve their communities. We have a chance today to unify for good of all of California. I urge you to vote yes on AB 1931. Will I be able to share with the press, other victims, and survivor organizations that this committee chose to stand with women, children, and victims, or will you choose criminals? Seems like an easy choice for me. Please vote yes. A vote yes means this bill will give victims voices, and they matter, and they will deserve the full floor vote, a discussion for your colleagues on the floor.
Thank you.
Thank you.